Okay, welcome back everybody. So we're just going to do the last three examples in this lesson on phase shifts. And remember, it all comes back to this formula. We're looking at functions in the form of a times the sine or cosine of bx plus c plus d, where a, b, c, and d are just real numbers. Okay, and remember the absolute value of a is the amplitude. 2 pi over the absolute value of b is the period. The phase shift is minus c over b, and d is the vertical shift. Okay, so we did this. So let's look at, in this case, a is 4, b is 3, c is 2, and d is 1. Okay, and so the amplitude is 4. The period will be 2 pi over 3. The phase shift is negative 2/3, and the vertical shift is 1. So, okay, let's plot this. Now the vertical shift is 1, so it'll be centered around y equals 1. Okay, and the amplitude is 4, so we can go up 4 to 5 and down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 to negative 3. So we can see that y is going to be between 5 and negative 3. The phase shift, it's all the way back here at negative 2/3. So, it'll be not completely drawn to scale, but here's negative 2/3. Okay. And at this point, you can see that if you plug in, and then the net one cycle finishes at negative 2/3 plus 2 pi over 3. Okay, and you can see that if you plug in negative 2/3 into here, you will get, this becomes 0. The stuff in the parentheses is 0. So you only got 4 times 1 plus 1, that's 5. So we have this point up here, 5. Okay, so it should make this 5 here. And then you'll have a 5 over here as well. And then that means halfway in between from here to here at negative 2/3 plus pi over 3. Okay, again, that's because pi over 3 is half this distance. We have a point here at negative 3. Okay, and you can check if you plug this number in here, sure enough, you get negative 3. And it's a cosine function, so it will be like that. Okay, and then it will repeat. Okay. All right. Let's switch things up a little bit, and let's suppose you're given the graph, and then you're asked to find an equation for that. So that's what these last two examples are all about. So here, the way we do this is we just go in reverse. We can see from a picture what the amplitude and the phase shift and the period is, and then go from there. So in this case, we can see that the amplitude is 2, because this is centered on the x-axis, so the amplitude is just from here to here, that's 2. The period is the distance from here to here, 5 minus negative 1, that's 6. So the period is 6. And the phase shift is negative 1. Okay. The vertical shift, of course, is going to be 0, which means that d is going to be 0. Okay. So let's look and see the amplitude. We can take a to be 2. We could also take a to be negative 2, but it might be easier if we just take these positive numbers when we can. 6 is the period, and that's 2 pi over b. We can multiply both sides by b and get 6b equals 2 pi, and then divide by 6. And so b will be pi over 3. Okay, and the phase shift is -1, and that's going to be minus c over b, but we are already taking b to be pi over 3. Okay, you can multiply both sides by -1, but you'll see that c has to be you can check. We can multiply both sides by pi over 3 and multiply by -1, but this means that c is pi over 3 as well. Okay, so it looks like what will work, and especially since we're going here, we're going up and not down, so we can just take y to be positive 2. So 2, and this is a sine curve, right? So this is going to be 2 sine of pi over 3 x plus pi over 3. Okay. Now, of course, you could also write this as a cosine function using the fact that cosine and sine are related by a phase shift, or you could just take this and then go up here again and figure out but you have to find out what the coordinate of this is, and you can see. I mean, that's not too hard because from here to here is 6. So this is going to be 1/4 of, from here to here is 1/4 of 6, or 3/2, and that means you have this is right here at 3/2, and or rather 1/2. But from here to here is 3/2. So as you can see, you got fraction involved, so we just leave it like this. Or maybe sometimes the sign is the easiest one. And just right here, in example 7, you can probably conclude that we want to use a cosine function because we're going up, going down, and coming back again. So what is the now here we can see it's centered not at the x-axis. What's halfway between 5 and -1 is 2, right? So it looks like the vertical shift is 2. Okay, then in that case the amplitude is what distance from here to here, that's 3. The period is 10 minus 2, which is 8. All right, and the looks like the phase shift is 2 itself. That's when this cycle begins. All right, so the amplitude says that we can take a to be 3. Plus or minus 3, we'll see if we want what we want. 2 pi, the period, 2 pi over b is going to be equal to 8. So we can multiply by b again, get 2 pi equals 8b, divide by 8, and yet b is 2 pi over 8, which is pi over 4. Then c is the phase shift is 2, and that's minus c over b, which we know b is pi over 4. We can multiply both sides by pi over 4, and we get pi over 2 can be taken to be minus c. So c can be taken to be minus pi over 2. And then finally the vertical shift is 2. So that tells us that d is 2. Okay, so it looks like y is going to be 3 cosine of pi over 4 x minus pi over 2 plus 2. Okay, and you can plug in some values like you're going to be checking by plugging in 2 and 10, and I guess maybe 6, and make sure that these work. But they should work. All right. And that's sometimes that's all there is to it. So start working on the homework, get lots of practice, and I'll see you next time.